what does the ecosystem of a fresher suggest to him after getting a technical degree? For example, parents or guardians.
See, rightly or wrongly, historically, even academia have discovered a language of communication for themselves, by themselves and of themselves, which is not understood by others. Now the situation is something similar like what happened in our gurukuls in ancient India, that knowledge never found a public base. It was isolated, it was elitist, it was secluded. So the same thing is happening in today's some of the R&D organizations and some of the premium institutes, that they create their own mutts and there are mathadhish and they dictate the terms and the things happen as per their wishes in their circles. But for outside world, they have no connection. They can only talk to their own breed in the language that they understand. Industry doesn't understand that language for sure. So that is the problem, right? So curriculum, of course, have to be tied with the actual requirements of the industry, but actual requirements of the industry has to have a lot more of technology than it is having currently, right? The problem is, on one side we have ornamental big R&D organizations like ISRO, for example. But again, it is becoming an isolated, secluded center of excellence, I would say. It is excellent, but it is secluded. It is not having a mass base, and whatever it is doing has no effect on the life of masses. So the situation becomes similar to what it was in ancient India, somehow. So unless we have technology which is affecting day-to-day life of people, is touching the life of people, people will not appreciate and the demand will not scale really. Once it starts happening, then the demand will scale. Another thing is happening, curiously, that while trying to optimize money all the time, we know that we have missed technology bus, so we try to jump some steps. So after step number 1, we want to jump to step number 5 directly. So as a result, we have all developed competency for system integration, for building a house. We are very good at building a house, planning a house, building a house. But we don't know how to make a brick. We don't know how to make a microchip. We can do a lot of software using laptops and cell phones, but we can't make a cell phone in India. And cell phone is a big thing. Can't make a lens of a spectacle also in India. Even that is imported. So material technology has been our weak point traditionally. We are rather weak in material technology. We are weak in components. We are weak in all the building blocks that go into technology, things like sensors, transducers. We don't do in India. So, in other words, what we are currently is we are putting our flag on somebody else's flag mast. दूसरे के डंडे पे अपना झंडा लगा रहे हैं. But it's not a comforting situation, because that threat is always there. What happens if somebody pulls out his danda from below? Right? So we have to be rightfully self-sufficient, but we have missed the bus. Now if you start investing in silicon technology, it will take you another 10-20 years to be somewhere where we can compete with the rest of the world. It will never make economic sense because things are available surely much cheaper from abroad. So are we mentally prepared to invest that much more in developing it indigenously, or we are happy in outsourcing it? So the business sense says that outsource it, so we outsource it. So somewhere the business sense has to be headed by the technical mind, right? Somebody has to have a technical mind. I always say, to youngsters when I do career counseling, that in Veda it is written actually beautifully that those who work through their life for this bread and butter, money, fulfilling their basic needs, actually they are the least level of personalities, least commendable personalities on scale. Above those are those who work for, above this is this mustaches or nose, right? So that is honor. Honor, fame, envy. If we are working for these things, in Sanskrit they call kirti, we work for kirti, that is fame or honor. We are one level, one notch above those who are working for bread and butter or for money. But above this is this. Those who work for cerebral pleasures and cerebral development of competencies, they are actually at the highest level. It was called as Aishwarya or Buddhi Vilas. Those who work for this are the highest lot. But our country has been in avastha of Shirshasana. So this is at the lowermost level. This is at highest level. That's why I say we are not poor because we do not have money. We are poor because we are according too much importance to money. We don't find youngsters who are working for their passion. We see youngsters who are sacrificing all their passions, all their latent talents, intrinsic interests in order to earn money. And we compromise all the way to choose a career that will fetch us maximum money, maximum rise in society in terms of status. This is the poor mentality, the poverty-stricken mindset. Abroad, you will still find people who work for their passion, for their life. They don't look at the designations. They don't look at the money that they get. And they get a fair deal, of course. So much of disparity is never there. But here we have that disparity. We have allowed that disparity to grow.